Lily was a sweet, curious girl with big green eyes and a heart full of wonder. She lived with her grandmother on the edge of Briar Hollow, a quiet village nestled between a dark forest and a winding river. People always told Lily to stay away from the woods. They were said to be cursed. But being the adventurous girl she was, the warnings only fueled her curiosity. One crisp autumn afternoon, Lily found herself wandering closer to the forest than she ever had before. She had heard stories of witches that lived deep within the woods, tales of dark magic and strange disappearances, but none of it scared her. To her, the woods felt alive, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. That day, as she ventured deeper into the forest, she stumbled upon a clearing she had never seen before. In the center stood an ancient, crooked house covered in creeping ivy and surrounded by towering trees that cast long shadows. Lily's heart raced with excitement and a hint of fear. It looked like something out of the stories her grandmother told her, the stories about the witch who lived in the heart of the forest. Before she could turn back, the door creaked open. Lily froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She had never seen this door before, and now it was opening on its own. A tall, slender woman with wild dark hair and piercing eyes stepped out. Her presence was commanding, almost otherworldly, as if she belonged to a different realm altogether. She looked nothing like the warty, hunchbacked witches from the old tales, but there was something unsettling about her presence. It was as if the air around her crackled with a strange energy, making the hairs on Lily's arms stand on end. Her eyes seemed to see straight through Lily, as though she knew all of her secrets. Those piercing eyes held a depth that was both fascinating and terrifying, drawing Lily in despite her fear. Well, what do we have here?" the woman said, her voice smooth like silk but laced with something darker. It was a voice that promised secrets and danger, a voice that could both soothe and unsettle. "A little girl who wandered too far from home." The woman's words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Lily felt a mix of fear and curiosity battling within her. Lily felt a chill run down her spine, but her curiosity got the better of her. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. She had to know more about this mysterious figure. The woman smiled, revealing sharp, gleaming teeth. "I'm Ilara," she said, her smile widening. There was something predatory about that smile, something that made Lily's blood run cold. "And you must be Lily." Lily's eyes widened in shock. How did this woman know her name? She had never seen her before in her life. "How do you know my name?" Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The forest seemed to grow quieter, as if it too was waiting for Ilara's answer. Ilara leaned in closer, her eyes never leaving Lily's. "I know many things, child," she said softly, her voice like a dark lullaby. "And I have been waiting for you." Lily's mind raced with questions, but she couldn't bring herself to speak. The forest around them seemed to darken, the trees closing in as if to listen to their conversation. She knew this encounter was just the beginning of something much larger, something that would change her life forever. "I know many things," Ilara said, stepping closer. "I've been watching you for a long time." Lily took a step back, her heart pounding now. "I should go." Ilara's hand shot out and grabbed Lily's wrist with an iron grip. "Not yet, little one. You've come all this way. Don't you want to see what magic really is?" A strange warmth spread from Ilara's touch, making Lily feel dizzy. It was as if the warmth was seeping into her very soul, clouding her thoughts and making her vision blur. She could feel her heartbeat quicken, each thump echoing in her ears like a drum. She tried to pull away, but her body felt heavy, her feet rooted to the ground. It was as if invisible chains were holding her in place, binding her to the spot. Every muscle in her body screamed for her to run, but she couldn't move an inch. The trees around them seemed to sway and twist unnaturally, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out toward her. The forest, once a place of beauty and tranquility, had transformed into a nightmarish landscape. Shadows danced menacingly, and the air was thick with an oppressive energy. "You've always wanted to know the secrets of the forest, haven't you?" Ilara whispered, leaning closer. Her voice was like silk, smooth and enticing, yet there was an underlying menace that sent chills down Lily's spine. I can show you things you've only dreamed of, wonders beyond your wildest imagination, secrets that have been hidden for centuries." Ilara's eyes sparkled with a dangerous allure, promising both marvels and perils. Lily's breath quickened, her mind swirling in confusion. She felt trapped between the allure of the unknown and the terror of the present. Her instincts screamed at her to flee, but curiosity gnawed at her resolve. The stories her grandmother had told her echoed in her head, stories of a witch who lured children into the woods, promising them wonders only for them to disappear, never to be seen again. Those tales, once dismissed as mere folklore, now felt all too real. "I want to go home," Lily said, her voice trembling. The words felt weak and insignificant against the overwhelming presence of Ilara. She hoped desperately that the witch would show mercy. Ilara's smile faded, replaced by a cold, hard stare. "You are home now." Her voice was devoid of warmth, a stark contrast to the earlier allure. It was a declaration, final and unyielding. Suddenly the ground beneath Lily began to shift. It felt as though the earth itself was rebelling against her presence, trying to swallow her whole. She struggled to maintain her balance, her heart pounding in her chest. The grass turned black, and twisted roots snaked up around her ankles, pulling her toward the witch. The roots were cold and unyielding, their grip tightening with every passing second. Panic surged through her, and she fought with all her might to break free. The air grew thick with the scent of decay, and the sky darkened as if night had fallen in an instant. The once vibrant forest was now a realm of shadows and despair. Every breath was a struggle, the air heavy with an ominous presence. "I've been waiting for someone like you," Ilara hissed. Her voice was filled with a twisted sense of satisfaction, as if she had finally found the missing piece to her dark puzzle. Someone pure, someone full of light. Ilara's eyes gleamed with a predatory hunger, fixated on Lily's very essence. The contrast between the darkness of the forest and the light within Lily was stark and palpable. "You will make me whole again." The words were a chilling promise, a declaration of intent that left no room for doubt. Ilara's determination was unwavering, her desire to consume Lily's light evident in every word. Lily struggled, fear gripping her heart. She could feel the darkness closing in, threatening to engulf her completely. But amidst the fear, a spark of defiance ignited within her. She would not give in without a fight. The warmth from Ilara's touch had turned into a burning pain, searing her skin. It was as if her very essence was being scorched, the pain intensifying with each passing moment. But even in the midst of agony, Lily's resolve hardened. She would find a way to break free, to reclaim her light and escape the clutches of the witch. Desperate, she remembered the silver pendant her grandmother had given her, a family heirloom said to protect against evil. It was a small, delicate piece, but its power was legendary in their family. Her grandmother had always told her stories of how it had saved their ancestors from dark forces. With shaking hands, she pulled it from beneath her shirt and thrust it toward the witch. The pendant felt warm in her grasp, as if it were alive, responding to her fear and determination. Ilara recoiled with a shriek, her face twisting in rage. The sight of the pendant seemed to cause her physical pain, and she staggered back, clutching her chest. "You dare bring that here?" she screamed, her voice echoing through the forest like a thunderclap. The pendant glowed with a brilliant light, its silver surface shimmering like the moon. It cast a protective aura around Lily, pushing back the darkness that had enveloped her. The roots around Lily's legs loosened their grip, and she stumbled backward, free from the witch's grasp. She could feel the pendant's power coursing through her, giving her strength she didn't know she had. The trees seemed to tremble, the dark magic that had surrounded them weakening. The oppressive atmosphere began to lift, and a faint light started to pierce through the canopy. Ilara's eyes burned with fury. She had not anticipated this resistance, and it infuriated her. "You think that trinket can save you?" she bellowed, her voice filled with venom and disbelief. She snarled, her voice now dripping with malice. Her confidence was shaken, but her resolve was not. "I will not be denied," she declared, her eyes narrowing with determination. She began to chant in an ancient guttural language, summoning more dark energy. "You cannot escape me, little girl." Her voice was a mix of rage and desperation, as if she were trying to convince herself as much as Lily. Lily turned and ran, her legs pumping with fear-fueled adrenaline. The forest seemed to warp around her, branches clawing at her clothes, shadows darting in every direction. She could hear Ilara's voice behind her, whispering terrible things, promising that no matter how far she ran, the witch would find her. As she sprinted through the woods, Lily spotted a familiar landmark, the old oak tree at the edge of the forest, not far from her grandmother's house. She pushed herself harder, her lungs burning, her heart pounding in her ears. Just as she reached the oak tree, a chilling wind swept through the forest, and Ilara's voice echoed one last time. "I'll be waiting, Lily. You belong to me now." Lily collapsed on her grandmother's doorstep, breathless and trembling. Her grandmother rushed to her side, pulling her into a tight embrace. "What happened, child?" she asked, her voice full of concern. Lily clutched the silver pendant tightly, tears streaming down her face. "The witch! She tried to take me." Her grandmother's face grew pale. "The witch of Briar Hollow," she whispered. "I had hoped the stories were just that, stories." From that day on, Lily never went near the woods again. But sometimes late at night, when the wind howled through the trees, she could still hear Ilara's voice, soft and sinister, calling her name. And deep in the heart of the forest, the witch waited, her eyes ever watching, knowing that one day Lily would return. Pause 2S. Despite her resolve, Lily's curiosity gnawed at her. The forest, with all its secrets, called to her in whispers she could not ignore. One misty morning, with the silver pendant clutched tightly in her hand, she ventured back into the woods. Pause 2S. The forest seemed different this time, more alive, more vibrant. Strange glowing flowers illuminated her path, and the trees whispered ancient secrets. As she ventured deeper, she encountered magical creatures, a talking fox with emerald eyes, a flock of luminescent butterflies, and a wise old owl who spoke in riddles. Pause 2S. Each encounter brought new challenges. She had to outsmart the fox, follow the butterflies through a maze of thorns, and decipher the owl's cryptic messages. But with each step she grew stronger, her determination unwavering. Pause 2S. And then at the edge of a shimmering lake, she saw her, Ilara, the witch, waiting with a knowing smile. The air buzzed with tension as the witch spoke, her voice both welcoming and foreboding. Pause 2S. "Welcome back, Lily. The forest has missed you." Pause 2S. Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding, and stepped forward. The journey was far from over, and the forest held many more secrets. But now she was ready to face them, no longer just a girl lost in the woods, but a brave soul on a quest. Pause 2S. The adventure had only just begun. Pause 2S. As Lily stood facing Ilara, the witch's eyes glinted with a mixture of amusement and something darker. With a wave of her hand, Ilara conjured a portal that shimmered with 1,000 colors. "Come," she said, her voice echoing with ancient power. "There is something you must see." Pause 2SS. Hesitant but driven by an insatiable curiosity, Lily stepped through the portal. She found herself in a hidden chamber deep within the forest, the air thick with magic and secrets. The walls were lined with ancient tomes and artifacts, and in the center stood a grand, ornate mirror. Pause 2S. Ilara approached the mirror and placed her hand on its surface. Instantly, images began to swirl, scenes from Ilara's past. Lily watched in awe as the mirror revealed a younger Ilara, not as a witch, but as a gifted healer loved by the forest creatures. Pause 2S. But the images grew darker. Betrayal, heartbreak, and a desperate quest for power unfolded before Lily's eyes. She saw Ilara's transformation from a benevolent healer to the feared witch she had become. The mirror then showed a prophecy, a young girl with a silver pendant destined to break the curse and restore balance to the forest. Pause 2S. Turning to Lily, Ilara's voice softened. "You see, Lily, we are bound by fate. Your journey is not just about survival, it's about redemption, yours and mine." Pause 2S. Lily felt a surge of understanding and determination. The weight of the pendant around her neck seemed heavier now, but she knew its significance. Pause 2S. With a newfound resolve, she nodded. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady. The hidden chamber, once a place of secrets, now felt like the beginning of a new chapter. The forest's fate rested in her hands, and she was prepared to face whatever lay ahead. Pause 2S. The adventure was indeed only just beginning. Pause 2S. As Lily emerged from the hidden chamber, the forest seemed to hold its breath. The air was electric, charged with the magic of countless generations. Ilara, standing tall and formidable, waited for her just beyond the portal. The time for the final confrontation had come. Pause 2S, drawing strength from the pendant around her neck and the knowledge she had gained. Lily stepped forward. Her heart pounded, but her resolve was unshakable. This was her moment. Pause 2S. Ilara's eyes narrowed, and with a flick of her wrist, she summoned a whirlwind of dark energy, shadows twisted and contorted, ready to strike. But Lily was prepared. She raised her hands, and a radiant light burst forth from the pendant, illuminating the dark forest. Pause 2S. The two forces collided in a spectacular display of power. Ilara's dark magic clashed with Lily's light, creating a storm of energy that shook the very ground. Trees swayed and the air crackled with intensity. Pause 2S. Despite the overwhelming force of Ilara's magic, Lily held her ground. She focused on the memories of Ilara's past, the healer she once was, and the prophecy that foretold their fates. With every ounce of her strength, she channeled the light, pushing back against the darkness. Pause 2S. Ilara's expression shifted from fierce determination to something softer, almost regretful. The light from Lily's pendant grew brighter, enveloping them both. The shadows began to dissipate, revealing the true essence of the forest, ancient, pure, and full of life. Pause 2S. Finally, with a cry that echoed through the trees, Ilara's dark magic shattered. She fell to her knees, the weight of her past and the power of the pendant overwhelming her. Lily approached, her light still shining brightly. She extended a hand, offering not just help, but hope. Pause 2S. Ilara looked up, tears glistening in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking, "for believing in the good that was once in me." Pause 2S. Lily nodded, her own eyes filled with tears. "We all have the power to change," she said softly, "and to heal." Pause 2S. The forest, now bathed in the warm glow of the pendant's light, seemed to sigh in relief. The curse was broken and balance was restored. Lily had not only survived her journey, but had transformed it into a path of redemption and healing, for herself, for Ilara, and for the forest. Pause 2S. As they stood together, the forest around them began to bloom, vibrant and alive. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time it felt like they were truly on the right path. Pause 2S. The final confrontation had ended, but a new chapter was just beginning. Pause 2S. With the witch defeated, Lily returned home, forever changed by her adventure. The memories of her confrontation with Ilara and the magic of the forest lingered in her heart. She had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, not just through power, but through compassion and understanding. Pause 2S. As she walked through the familiar streets of her village, the people welcomed her with open arms. They could sense the change in her, the wisdom and strength she now carried. Lily shared her story not to boast, but to inspire hope and courage in others. Pause 2S. Her home felt different now, not just a place of comfort, but a foundation for new beginnings. She looked at the silver pendant around her neck, a symbol of her journey and the light she had found within herself. Pause 2S. Lily knew her adventure was far from over. The forest, now restored, held many secrets yet to be uncovered, and she felt a deep connection to its magic. She decided to use her newfound abilities to protect and nurture the balance she had helped restore. Pause 2S. Days turned into weeks and Lily became a guiding light for her village. She taught the children about the forest's wonders and the importance of harmony with nature. The villagers, inspired by her bravery and kindness, began to see the world through her eyes, a place of endless possibilities and hidden magic. Pause 2S. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of colors, Lily stood at the edge of the forest, feeling the gentle breeze on her face. She knew that her journey had only just begun. With a heart full of hope and a spirit unyielding, she stepped forward, ready to embrace the adventures that awaited. Pause 2S. The forest, now a symbol of renewal and growth, whispered its secrets to her, and she listened with an open heart. In the distance, the echoes of her past struggles faded, replaced by the promise of a brighter future. Pause 2 says. Lily smiled, knowing that she was not alone. The spirit of the forest, the lessons of her journey, and the love of her village would always be with her. Together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by the light that had guided her through the darkest of times. Pause 2S. And so, with each step she took, Lily embraced her new beginning, a life filled with purpose, wonder, and the unbreakable bond between her and the magic of the forest.